This week I'm driving the 2021 Cadillac Xt4 Sport Edition. The Xt4 is the smallest SUV inside of the Cadillac lineup. This one is a subcompact SUV, so it's a mini version of the Xt5, we could say. This one's a Sport Edition, so we've got that really nice looking black mesh grille in the front. And because it's a Sport Edition, all around this Xt4, we remove the chrome. So around the windows, the rack here, underneath, on the side, all in black to have that sporty look of a sport Xt4. In the back, we can notice easily it's an Xt4 with those long tail lights, really Cadillac style, really similar to the ones you'll find on an Escalade. So you got a little bit the Escalade touch on this subcompact SUV. Trunk-wise, we don't have to make a big sacrifice, even if this SUV is a subcompact SUV. As you can see, plenty of space. You can put down those seats also. It comes completely flat. So pretty decent amount of cargo for a small SUV. Stepping in the back of the Xt4, plenty of space. It's pretty surprising, you know, the amount of space I've got for my legs, my head, and all that. It's one of the only subcompact SUV I'm able to fit behind myself, so that's a big statement. Under the hood of the Xt4, we can find a 4-cylinder, 2-liter turbo, good for 237 horsepower and 258 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 9-speed transmission. All right, behind the wheel of the Xt4 this week, you know, this little SUV, it's really fun to use on a daily basis. It's easy to drive, it's easy to park, and there's tons of space inside of the cabin. Look at that, look at my shoulder, look at my headroom and all that. Tons of space inside of this Xt4. That's one of the key features of this little SUV. You know, on the road, really comfortable seats also. One key point we have to remember, it's not like driving a BMW, Mercedes-Benz, or an Audi. It's not super sharp, the driving sensation, I could say, the performance and all that. But you know, one of the key points of this Xt4, it's a little bit higher off the ground, higher in the cabin. And you know, handling wise, that's kind of like the weakness of the Xt4 when you really push it down the curve. It's not like driving a GLA or maybe a BMW X1 or even Audi Q3. You know, the center of gravity is higher inside of this Xt4. It can be a plus for someone. You know, especially here where I'm driving right now, country roads, mountain area, close to a ski resort, tons of snow. You need a little SUV like this one with a higher clearance and all that. The driving style of the Xt4, it's more like a little truck, a little, you know, real SUV, more than a sport SUV, I could say. Performance-wise, the 2-liter does the job. Also the 9-speed, it's a little bit rough sometimes. It's not a luxurious feel, I could say. It sometimes, you know, you need to rev it up to have some boost. Sometimes, you know, it shifts a lot of gears. It's not a luxury feel, I could say, but it gets the job done. And you've got plenty of power to overtake or go on the highway and all that. So it's not slow, but still, it's not a high performance machine like the GLA AMG I drove earlier this summer. But just on a daily basis, this is a good SUV. Actually, where I live here, this Xt4 is really popular. A ton of older ladies own the same, you know, Cadillac Xt4. You know, same package, same color. I've seen like at least 5 or 6 this week. So, you know, it fits the area where I live. If we step inside of the Xt4, it's classic Cadillac, plain and simple to use all the buttons. I really like the carbon fiber touch, the orange stitching. You know, everything is simple to use. We have that toaster slot, I could say, to recharge our phone wirelessly. Again, you know, using the climate control, the screen, it's all GM, super easy to use, easy to understand, way easier than the German products, so that's a big plus. I like the steering wheel, you know, we've got the feel, you know, it's basically really similar to the CT4, CT5, even the Xt5. All the interiors look alike. Smaller screen, I could say, but it works pretty well. And also, we're in a small SUV, so it will be, you know, kind of funky having a really big screen. So interior-wise, you know, plenty of space in the front, in the back, decent amount of cargo. Nothing to complain inside of this small SUV because we don't feel inside of a small SUV. Fuel economy wise, this week I was averaging between 9 liter, 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers. It's decent on the fuel economy side. One of the big plus of this Xt4 model, we've got this all-wheel drive system. You can switch from either front-wheel drive to all-wheel drive, and it's a true front-wheel drive, so you won't use extra power, extra fuel on your all-wheel drive system like a lot of other, you know, small SUV you'll find on the market. So that's a big plus. I like those systems from GM. And also on the Xt4, you get the twin clutch system in the back. So if you want extra grip, you're going up a hill in winter time and all that, you've got, you know, a little bit more than just the normal all-wheel drive you find in the typical small SUV. So you get a little bit more grip. So that's maybe one of the reasons why I see more Xt4 in my area, because we've got those, you know, mountain roads and all that. So you need that dual clutch system in the back. So that's a big plus for the Xt4 when you're looking to have that extra grip, or, you know, just a system to compete with the Quattro and also the 4MATIC. Price-wise, you can get a base Xt4 just under 39,000 Canadian, and the model I'm driving this week is just over 53,000 Canadian. Yes, it's kind of expensive for a small SUV. I think the people who are looking to buy a small luxury SUV like that, the size of the SUV is one of the main features they're looking for. Obviously, for the same price, you can opt for a bigger SUV. It's kind of pricey, but you get a lot of things. A lot of nice finish also with the Sport. I like that, you know, black mesh grille, the carbon fiber and all of that, removing the chrome. It's a nice packaging for this Xt4. It looks less, you know, old school Cadillac, old people cars when you're choosing this trim level. So overall, you know, I think it's a great daily base, you know, small SUV if you're going to the city, a lot of traffic. Going to the cabin on the weekend, you need that extra grip with the dual clutch, tons of space inside. That's one of the key features of these Xt4. I'm 6'3", you know, and I won't say how much I weigh, but you know, tons of space for my head, my shoulders, and all that. Same thing, I'm able to fit in the back in a subcompact SUV. This is like a big feature, and also you don't make a big sacrifice on cargo and all of that. But I think it's a great little subcompact SUV to drive every day. So let me know in the comments which luxury subcompact SUV is your favorite. I want to see your opinion on this. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my video, and we're going to see each other on the next review.